So why are some Etsy shops able to open up and get sales almost immediately while some other shops grind for months and months or maybe even years without gaining any traction? Let's look at this shop. This shop is only 3 months old with already over 300 sales with 389 listings and a projected 55 upcoming sales this month. It looks pretty good, right? But then wait a second. Let's look at this other shop. Is also 3 months old but has over 669 sales with a projected 360 sales upcoming this month with only 44 listings. There are clearly things that the second shop is doing that the first shop is not that is speeding up this sales process. And today, if you follow these 6 strategies, you will be able to replicate the same for your shop. As we just saw, it's not too difficult to be making an extra $3,000 to maybe even up to $6,000 or $7,000 or even $10,000 a month. But let's just get one thing straight. This is not get rich quick. These are just legitimate strategies that I use in my own shop to gain traction really, really fast without burning out. Strategy number 1 is do less. So you might be thinking, what does that even mean? In the beginning, when we first start our businesses, we have the most energy and the most enthusiasm about what we're building at the very start. And there's a lot of good things that come with that. But the negative side of that is that we underestimate how much time everything takes. And so we come into the game wanting to do it all. We get really excited about this opportunity of selling on Etsy and learn all of the different ways to sell on Etsy, all the different product types, and all of the different niches that there are out there. And so what we tend up doing is doing everything at the same time. And what ends up happening is 3 things. 1, information overload. 2, you become a trick of all trades, but a master of none. And 3, you experience burnout when nothing sticks. This is actually the biggest time and money waster, is actually just making listings that don't sell. And if you're somebody that's experiencing this right now and you're launching many different product types, attracting many different types of customer avatars, this step is very important for you because you're going to want to reel it back just a tad. The first thing that we're going to want to do in this first step is focus. It's very simple. The reality is, if you validate demand for a given product type in a given niche with a given brand vibe, you can be successful because you validated there was demand for it. So what I want you to do before you launch any more listings or any listings for the first time is spend time shopping Etsy for products to sell with proven demand. And what you're going to want to do is look for the demand indicators like this. This is my Profit Tree Chrome extension. You can see this little fire indicator. This is showing that there are products in this listing selling in the last 24 hours. Any products that resonate with you that you could foresee yourself selling, you're going to want to go ahead and save those listings into a folder and start adding as many product ideations that are proven with demand into those folders. I particularly recommend categorizing the folders by a product type with a specific niche in mind. So if you want to sell dog shirts, I would make the folder called dog shirts. If you want to sell digital banners, I would go ahead and make a whole folder just of digital banners products. This is the brainstorming phase. So go and fill up that list as many products, in-demand products as possible. And remember, the key here is if they have a sold in the last 24-hour badge, that means they are proven. So that means if you can actually compete with that listing, there is no reason why that listing should not sell when you go to recreate it. Now we're going to get into strategy number 2. So now that we have full stack ideation of proven products, this is actually when we're going to reel it back a little bit. We're going to pick our 1N, 1P, and 1V. This stands for our one product in one niche with one vibe. And this is the most important thing because at this point, you probably are going to want to go and try to create any of those products that you put in your folder. Again, this is not going to serve you. It doesn't mean that you can't have a shop with multiple products targeting multiple different niches like the dog niche or the teacher niche. It doesn't mean that that can't exist in the future. In the beginning, when you're competing against people that have already mastered 1N, 1P, and 1V, it's not going to serve you because you need to learn how to make winning listings targeting that one product in that one niche with that one vibe. And you need to master that before you move on to the next collection or the next product type. And remember, because you validated it, it can work. So there's no need for you to be switching from different product types or different niches. And this is also the exact difference of those two shops that we analyzed earlier. So in that first shop that had over 300 listings with a fourth of the amount of sales for the same time period of 3 months, if you scroll through those listings, you can see that they're doing a lot of spaghetti throwing at the wall. They have different brand vibes, different customer avatars, all in one shop. Whereas the shop that only had 44 listings is very, very specific. And this is why the algorithm loves their shop, right? Because it's attracting one specific customer with one brand vibe with one product type. Now, is there a future potential for this shop to expand? Certainly. But in the beginning, it's not serving them. So they mastered one product with one type, with one design type before deciding to move to something else. You can also see this consistent with any young shops that just launched in 2 months or 6 months. They all do the same thing. Everything is very cohesive and very dialed in to one product type, one style, one customer. Some examples of this would be if the niche selection was public news, then the product would be clothing tops. So crew necks, sweaters, hoodies, shirts, since all of those can exist in one drop-down menu. And then the brand vibe would be retro. So when you go into that shop, the overall brand vibe is retro. Another one could be digital banners. The product type is digital download. And the brand vibe is playful, family, and kids. Another example is DIY matchbook poster. The product type is digital download, and the brand vibe is vintage. Another one, funny shirts, clothing tops again, and the brand vibe is playful. Now again, because we validated all of these 1N, 1P, 1V, we know that we can make it work too, as long as we actually start making listings. Number 3 is track your competition. So we already have a folder tracking our listings. Now we actually want to go and track our competitors' shops. Etsy is a competition, whether you know it or not. So we have to know who we are actually competing against. So we can go into those product listings and actually go to those competitor shops and add them into our shop tracking portal here. And we can actually track their daily sales, their weekly sales, their reviews, their average order value directly against our own shop. So over time, as we're beginning to go to market, we can try to keep tabs on how fast we are gaining traction in comparison to our competition. And what I would recommend here is to track shops like this that are young, say less than 3 months old, because you can catch up to them pretty fast. Now, sometimes we get confused on who our competition actually is. Your competition is a shop that is competing directly for the same customer avatar as you. Now, if you find somebody that has a collection for a collection that you also want to launch, right, you can also add shops that have a list of collections that you aspire to be like. So if you could foresee your shop launching in all of those different collections, go ahead and track them since you're aspiring to be like them as well. The next step, and this is specifically for print on demand, but since I'm handmade, I can also talk on that as well. On the handmade side of things, the product development side is going to look different for everyone depending on what you're making. All I recommend here is that try to streamline that process as much as you can. For us, it always starts in product research, seeing what the new fabric materials are, what the price points are, and trying to source raw materials where the end product competes with what's proven and in demand in the market. And that is our system of launching products regularly. 99% of the time when you are in print on demand and your listings are not gaining traction in those first 30 days is because you're making designs that the algorithm actually doesn't like. And so it's not your fault. If you are just simply new at design, you need to get your design skills up. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just means you need to close the gap from where you are and where you need to be for the market to want to click on your designs in comparison to the people you're competing against. And so if you're somebody that is not getting traction with your print on demand, it is most likely because of your designs. I highly recommend you join my friend Jay and Juna's community. It's literally only $7 a month. They both have run successful print on demand shops for many, many years, and they actually have a design background. So they're going to show you how to systemize your design processes, how to use AI, and actually make designs that sell. They are the authorities of the space. Jay specifically, I have worked with him many, many times. He is a designer by trade. So he knows all the little tips and tricks to make designs that actually sell. And design is something that's very specific, right? Like a one little change of a font or one little change of a color can be the difference between your listing not selling and selling. So I really recommend that you get into these guys community and check them out. I will add the link in the description of this video to this community so you can get involved. On Etsy, you have to have a consistent research and development process because improving your product line and launching new products never ends, whether you're digital, physical, or print on demand. Number 5 is use AI to make you faster. AI is not going away anytime soon, and now Etsy actually endorses it. You are allowed to make AI art completely made by AI or with production assistance, or you can even use AI to manage your shop. And I'm really excited to announce because Profitry is actually coming out with an AI agent. It's basically going to be able to do any shop management thing for you in terms of uploading your listings, your SEO, and even helping you understand your analytics, which is probably the hardest thing that most sellers have when it comes to understanding their profit, their product costs, their Etsy marketing, how to make their Etsy ads profitable, which is another feature of Profitry that is the only tool on market that helps you run your ads profitably. So our AI agent is going to hopefully replace any other external AI agent that you're currently using to run your Etsy shop like ChatGPT or something like that. And finally, number 6, one of the top things that I see sellers lose momentum in is micromanaging their daily sales in the beginning. So it's normal in the beginning, and you don't know this if you don't know this because you're new. So you're not crazy for getting scared or putting energy towards this. But sometimes in the beginning, we think that as soon as we start making sales, it's just going to be this perfect straight line trajectory to the gods of infinite sales. And it's not really like that, right? Your sales pattern kind of can look like this, something like this, and then down, and then up, and then down, and then up. What you want to do is look at your data in large periods of time. So you want to track month over month over month data, which you can do inside of Etsy, but you also want to check your profit in month over month over month data reports, right? Looking at your data in just like 3 or 5 or even 2-week increments is not telling you anything significant about your business. To really understand the depths of your business, you need to look at big time periods and compare them to the previous time periods, quarters, and months, right? And so Profitry shows you your profit month over month. So you can actually see how much money you're taking home. And we give you this pie chart here that shows you how to optimize all the different pieces of your pie so that you can make sure you can increase the biggest portion of your pie, which is your profit margin percentage, right? So we want to keep our other costs as low as possible so we can increase our profit. And you can't do that if you don't actually see it or analyze it. Numbers keep you accountable to your business. So it's important that you're at least looking at them on a monthly basis where you're doing monthly profit and loss reports where you can see where you're at, right? Because it's normal to go up one week and go down a little bit the next week, or you might have a sales day where you get 6 sales and then you don't get sales for a week. And this is that slow snowball effect that's normal in the beginning of Etsy. But what you'll find is that when you look at bigger pieces of time, like month over month, your sales are going in the right direction. Or if they're not, then we have some bigger problems. But again, this is what we don't want to hyperfixate over our data in small batches of time. We want to look at our data reports in larger batches of time and optimize for bigger time periods. Also, when we hyperfixate over small periods of time, we go down rabbit holes of trying to figure out what happened. Did Etsy die? And then we go to Facebook groups and start complaining and fighting with people in Facebook groups. And it's just not worth your energy. It's a waste of energy, and it's just stopping you from the thing that actually makes you money, which is launching more listings. And then after you launch listings that are proven to sell, is then launching Etsy ads is the next step. If you are somebody that is already starting to get traction and getting regular sales with some of your listings, I implore you to already be learning about Etsy ads, which I can link in the next video, a full Etsy ads masterclass. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.